Once there was a hunter who saw what others could not. With a magic case in her backpack, she roamed with wild abandon into the great unknown. Her gaze inescapable, her reflexes lightning fast. When armies swarmed, she went through. With eyes open wide, hands steady, holding, watching, capturing everything in sight.
The Crucial Pro DDR5 RAM kit comes with a sleek, modern look that will complement any build. But aesthetics aside, it's the performance that really matters. So let's dive into it. The default JEDEC timings are 46, 45, 45, but it does come with 2 XMP and Expo settings for those looking for a little more performance. With XMP 3.0 Profile 1, you can push the speed up to 5600 megatransfers per second. If you prefer a slightly lower speed but tighter timings, Profile 2 offers 5200 megatransfers per second at 42, 42, 42 timings. We've run some benchmarks and stress tests to give you an idea of how it performs. In general, dropping the speed and tightening the timings with the second XMP/Expo profile yielded better results for us on our test system. Paired with a Ryzen 7800X 3D, we saw anywhere from a 1 to 5% performance bump depending on workloads. All in all, the Crucial Pro DDR5 64GB RAM kit by Micron is a fantastic choice for first-time builders and enthusiasts alike.
Every single journey that begins will be coming to this exact moment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Esports Showdown Series Season 5 Valorant powered by Crucial by Micron with their GPU partners being Zotac Gaming and our media partners Gossip.gg. We are now back with all the Valorant action once more for the last possible moments because we only have 2 more days for this tournament to conclude. It's going to be your boy Aggressive with Anna on my side to bring you all of the action. Anna, how are you feeling about this one?
I am pretty excited. This is almost getting close to the end, and the more we get closer to that, the more action starts playing in. And today, the teams are going to be looking for a fighting chance. There may or may not be a good tomorrow after that. So, teams need to be very, very cautious of how they tread from here on.
Absolutely. There's going to be certain moments where the teams are going to question, do we really have what it takes to make it through to the very end? Because think about it, it's been a very long journey. You're gonna have a little bit of self-doubt. Your confidence may not be as high as it normally is, because when you go towards that finish line, that's where you start to question, is everything gonna work out for me? But if you are here at this stage, when you are this close to the point of victory, you need to make things happen. This is where your team will be able to shine the brightest. As we jump on down over into the formats, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the journey these teams have gone through. It's been an open qualifier. Then they went into the playoffs, and they're now one step away from reaching that grand final stage. It's the upper brackets for a reason. Nearest Bustand going up against XCrew will be a match for the ages, because XCrew, against all odds, they have defied everyone to show that they are their best.
Absolutely, and every single time we go into a new team showing up on a match, it's been more and more potential being shown. Every single time there comes some team who's emerging through the ashes, and now they are going to be clashing against each other. I want to see which one gets to make their way towards the grand finals, which is going to be a best of 5 that happens on the 20th of October, which is not very far. It's literally one day away from happening.
It's kind of like a bittersweet end when you think about it, right? We've been here for not that long, but it does feel like an eternity. Watching these teams grow, feeling out each and every best of three up till the very end for a lot of them, overtime after overtime, even when it is a 2-0 set. Every single 2-0 that we had, right, Ahana, it never felt like a complete whitewash. There was always
True
a
that.
team that really started to turn up the heat, at least in one of those maps that they either ran out of fuel for the second one, or that second one has to be the closest nail-biting moment, things going down to what, 16, 15 to take a possible victory, where the teams just, 17, 15, where the teams just are really showcasing what Valorant will be like and what Valorant can be when their backs are against the wall. They're fighting like rabid dogs out there to get that prize pool under their belt. And that's kind of how it goes for the Showdown Series. Every team is leveling up at every single instance, and the players individually are doing God's work at every.
Exactly, and the way these players are showing up, even individually, is quite amazing. Level Up leaderboard already has quite a lot of names up there. Batman has climbed his way up to the 4th position already, but AK Demon and 69G still reigning on the top of the chart.
Yeah, I do believe that Zero Frags might just have their hardest game in the lower bracket run, as they are going to be going up against Team Ace. Now, that is a match that has me worried a little bit when you think about it, Ahana, because in a way, Ace is not one of those rosters that will be taking anything laying down. Zero Frags, they would have their work cut out for them. We're going to be finding that out soon, exactly which of those teams are going to be moving forward into the lower bracket finals. But for now, the upper brackets is what we really want to see go through, because in my opinion, the initial stages of this upper brackets have been a little bit lackluster, but now that things have settled down, XCrew being one of those teams that really came out of absolutely nowhere. When you think about it, imagine the very beginning stages when we first found out about XCrew. We thought that, oh, Team Ace going up against them, Ace should be able to take that victory. But then the upset happened. XCrew, they were able to shut down Team Ace. Ace took one map, but when it came down to the third map, it was a complete change of the story. We're going to jumping on down over into the maps, ladies and gentlemen. Break everything
I
down
agree.
a little bit better
And the
too.
way games are going on currently, it just keeps going on a roller coaster ride all across, and that's why every single match from here on is gonna be a completely unpredictable story till the last moment of it. Even yesterday, the match between Zero Frags and Team Deadlift, even though it was a 2-0, it just became so difficult to figure which team is gonna win, which team is gonna be having that chance to move forward. Zero Frags somehow made it, but as you mentioned, it's gonna be one of their most difficult matches for the whole run. And alongside that, even nearest Bustand is going to be facing XCrew. That's not going to be an easy one either. Those two teams both have their own, challenges to overcome before they are able to make their way into the grand finals. However, the only good cushioning is going to be that one of them will still have a second shot going back into the lower brackets.
Absolutely. XCrew did not have an easy journey here. Think about it. XCrew had to go up against Team Ace at the very beginning. Then they had to shut down the members of Deadlift. There's a lot of tough games that they needed to find out to try and break into this upper bracket finals. The nearest Bustand also, again, a very difficult opponent for them to fight into, because at this stage, none of the matches are going to get any easier. Game number 1, of course, ladies and gentlemen, will be nearest Bustand going up against XCrew, with game number 2 being Zero Frags versus the members of Team Ace. Second game could be a one-sided affair, but at the same time, from what we have seen from the members of Zero Frags, I do believe that it also has the possibility of going for all 3 maps.
Completely agree. The maps are definitely going to be something that is going to be heavily predicting on which team is going to have an easier time on either of the maps. But then again, you still would need to consider the composition, the strats, the way they're playing, everything, because any mishap from here could result into everything going down south for any of the teams here. None of them can afford to make mistakes, specifically not the ones who are playing in the low bracket already, which is Zero Frags and Ace. They need to be very, very cautious with every single move they make onto the maps that they choose, and make sure that they're walking through in a calculated manner, I would say.
Absolutely. Now let's look at the members of the nearest Bustand. I don't really think I have to give them any form of an introduction, but when you think of how incredible each and every player is as an individual, I don't really think you can quantify them. Players like Mighty, Ben 10s, and then 69G, of course, he's the one topping that level up leaderboard. They're literally the face of it, consistency. These are the players that you really want to see. AK Demon has his ups and downs, but when he really starts to show up onto the server, the nearest Bustand is absolutely unstoppable. Mighty always being present for his team no matter what happens with his incredible aim plays. But as a squad, as a roster, they have a couple of situations where they do get lost, but once the team finds their direction once more, nearest Bustand as his team is just close to unbeatable.
True that. Let's take a look at who they're up against, because even XCrew has quite a few amazing names added to their roster. We have Ceylon, who's already up there on the top 10. We've seen how Shikhar and Confident Peaker have been playing for a while now. It's completely a star-studded lineup nonetheless, and the way they're playing so far, it does make them stand out. But I want to see if this is going to be enough for them to go ahead and acquire themselves the platform that they need to have a smoother ride into the grand finals.
One of the biggest surprises for me for XCrew were I would say there were certain moments instead of the full lack of team play synergy, but somehow they're still able to make it work. Their individual gameplay is so strong and so well-rounded that they're just able to make things happen just by themselves in a lot of instances. Ceylon being one of the biggest playmakers, I would say, overall for it. Think about it, Ceylon, in how many situations has Ceylon just been by himself in a 1v3, and then he just instantly popped a person in the head before he does die? There are very few players who can do something like that as a duelist. But let's look at the stats for the nerds a little bit longer to see exactly how the entire Showdown Series has been looking like overall. And as you can see, the top 5 agents being the composition that is predominant on the map of Lotus. Lotus being the most heavily picked up map, and the composition also favoring that particular map as well in instances. It's not that big of a surprise, but hopefully Neon's going to be able to break into the top 5 pickup.
Soon enough, because the way Neon picks are being favored constantly against Raze, we can eventually see Neon make it up to the top 5. Yes, you've rightly said it. But yeah, I don't think anyone else is going anywhere, because according to the maps that are being picked the most, these are the agents that get picked alongside. I mean, Omen is there on almost all of these 3 maps. You always have a Sova on these 3. Cypher and Killjoy are a switch, but then again, Cypher is more favored, specifically on the map of Lotus and Haven, where you have 3 sites. So I guess these top 5 agents are definitely not going to change very soon, except for Raze. But yeah, the maps have been this, and I think Ascent is going to drop out of it very soon, because Ascent is something people are not really keen on playing anymore. But let's see what the maps are going to be for today for nearest Bustand versus XCrew.
Lotus, Haven, and Abyss. This is the first time I would want these teams to just head over to Abyss. I want a 3 map series. I want to see exactly how these professionals are going to be playing on this particular map, because I do believe that Abyss as a map is just a map that has squandered potential that very few teams are willing to really jump in and figure things out on. The map has incredible amounts of creativity that you can go in for. The execute potentials are endless. The agent compositions are also endless. There's no real set agent composition that you can play on that map that will give you a significant advantage. You can play double controller, single controller, double sentinel if you want to, double sentinel, double controller. Double duelist is a little bit weak here because There's a lot of places where smokes are pretty much necessary, but that map really just holds so much potential as so much potential as an individual map for any one of these teams. But at the same time, when you look at the sheer size of the map, Ahana, think about it. All three maps could be considered three-sided maps. Abyss itself, because of how big the mid-side is and how important it is, you can consider it to be a site itself. So Lotus, Haven, and Abyss. I don't think that there's any other map pool that could get more interesting.
True that. The more the surface area of the map, the more creativity can be brought into the gameplay. We can definitely see these teams go ahead and make a lot of on-the-fly moves, no matter what their pre-decided strats are. There's just so many surprises that can happen, that can pop out in all three of these maps, that it's going to be pretty interesting to see how they deal with that in that instant. And the role of the IGL just becomes more and more prominent in maps like these, because you have to have someone who can constantly make sure that the right moves are being taken from the team and the whole team is thinking in a unified manner. Because as you know, too many cooks spoil the broth, specifically when you have that much room for variety. And you wouldn't want that happening on a map that is so big. So the role of the IGL will become pretty prominent on these. But let's see how that turns around. For Lotus, we are seeing everyone from the side of attackers hovering over on the neon. If only we could have had 5 neons on Lotus. How amazing would that be?
Yeah, Swag is debating me, as per usual with the ISO. No one's gonna start to pick up on that character. Not on Lotus after all of the changes. Taking Demon picking up on the Chamber, though, that might be a possibility. Chamber does have his strengths on this particular map, and yep, he is going to be running into it, especially after the recent Chamber buffs, where his rendezvous is a lot, has a bigger radius now. He can play from a lot more precarious situations, of course, precarious angles if he wants to, towards the A side or even towards the C side for the defense. Plus, go for instantaneous rotations whenever he wants to. A very interesting composition, to say the very least, from the members of the nearest Bustand, going for the Gecko and Breach instead of the Breach and Fade. They do have a strong plan potential going in for them, but overall, this is a big twist to the overall setup that the nearest Bustand have used previously in the past.
That's true. I'm seeing a lot of surprises coming in from the side of nearest Bustand, and I think they're trying to throw off the players of XCrew as well. And probably going to use the strat that was used against them in the past, which is just go ahead and surprise them for a few rounds and then later on start to build consistency over it. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited to see how this composition is going to play into nearest Bustand's overall strategy for this map. And even more excited to see how it's going to be countered from the side of XCrew.
Knowing XCrew, they already have a game plan in mind, but at the same time, if they don't have that game plan, they will adapt to it on the fly. This team really has that, how would I say it, that guardian angel somewhere waiting for them, hovering above. That's always going to tell them what to do next. In ways, you would expect XCrew to lose a map, but these individual players, when they're coming together and performing with one another, their trades are unbeatable.
I agree. Let's see how they're going to turn things around this time around. Your favorite player is missing, so that's got to be one thing. I think Doobie is having some slight connection issues, so we're going to wait for him to come back into the lobby. In the meanwhile, I do want to know from you, how do you see T-Swag making the best of the Gecko pick on this particular map? I mean, I understand the overall composition coming in from the side of nearest Bustand. I'm kind of scared though for the attacking side of it, because again, on a map this big, you cannot be cautious enough trying to watch out for those back flanks and those lurks coming in from the defensive side. And being a chamber, yes, you do have your abilities to go ahead and make sure that whoever is coming in gets marked, gets slowed, you get your information. But still, chamber being one of those sentinels who tries to take more fights and is having a lot more fragging potential than the others, it's not rare to see the chamber being picked off pretty early in the game.
it always does depend on the individual too. Think about in the other regions, right? When you think of Korea, how good is
Mm-hmm.
Team and why are they so dominant on the map of Lotus? It's because of their chamber pickup. That
Mm-hmm.
chamber is, to say the very least, one of the main reasons why they're always able to win. XCrew just does have that raw fragging potential all by himself whenever he's trying to fight into any angle that's giving him the opportunity to do so. The thing is, on Lotus, I wouldn't say how. It's very difficult to go in for a lurk and have an escape route. If you lurk, you get a kill, then your position is known, and then the defenders have an opportunity to just cut you off and force you into a corner where you can escape from. Chamber is one of the few sentinels in the entire game that have that option to utilize his rendezvous to just get out of any sticky situation if he places it right. And
Mm-hmm.
using that, I do believe that AK Demon is going to be able to sneak through the cracks, play a lot more aggressively, and get those advantages a lot more often in comparison to what the Killjoy can do later on from the side of things. It's a much more difficult and riskier playstyle, yes, but those risks can reap a lot of rewards.
True that. Right now, though, it seems like the players of XCrew are gonna be pushed into a rotation. They did make some early noise around site C, but they're not going to be able to find that penetration into it, and hence rotating towards site A now, which has been pretty well read from the side of XCrew as well. Oh no, Ceylon is not stopping. He's up for more and more fights. Finds one more.
Last player standing.
Here is Bustand trying to equalize the numbers. Not gonna stand tall for long though. With Shikhar and his frenzy surmounting the peaks. An easy first for the side of XCrew here.
Good. Keep your focus.
Gotta go. I'm out of here.
Good first round coming in from the members of XCrew here. They're going to be able to flood back in towards the side pretty quickly, but the members from nearest Bustand that leave a lot of open positions to be desired for. The fact that they didn't really go in for a proper extension caused the first initial issue, but then again, XCrew is just one of those teams that you are not going to be able to get a good read on early on in a map. It's a team that you need to give time on those initial bits. The nearest bus stand, first taste of a loss, but even then, they do have a proper understanding, what to expect going into a site. A
There.
little bit of a technical pause being taken here, just iron out a couple of the problems from Rage, I do believe. But as soon as they're all fixed and ready, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping on down over into the game. But I do believe that one of the biggest differences between both of these teams has to be the fade up against the Gecko. The breakable utility of the fade is so much more difficult to deal with in a lot of instances, but at the same time, the fact that the Gecko can get that free plant going while the Gecko is able to take a duel could just be the difference maker for it all. So Swag, if he's able to find value later on in the gun rounds, I do believe that his team will be in a lot more of a better position.
Well, that's true. There's going to be a lot of responsibility on every single player, actually, on both the teams to go ahead and make sure that their utilities are not only personally but overall to the team useful enough for them to go ahead and seize those rounds, because this is one of those days where you cannot completely depend on individual brilliances. But you can definitely individually set up a game that helps your team be on the winning side of it. Rage with an early outlaw being pretty outrageous. Already taken the chamber out of NBS. Yes, Bustand does not have a lot to look out for anymore.
Spike down B.
lateral for Ceylon.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Salon.
goodness.
He's just gonna keep on going. 69G. Just find the killing blow over on the one player at the bare minimum. Now looking for one more. If he's able to find this kill, this is gonna be perfect. Timing. Not really working out in his favor, and it's gonna be Shigar instead. Go in for the final kill. Vandal has been retrieved though, so not really the end of the world with the Outlaw still in their hands. Overall, I would say the nearest Bustand not really cutting their losses as much because they didn't get the spike plan done in, but overall, to get 2 guns, I do believe that will still work out in their favor. Just a little bit.
Yep, might very well, might very well. However, here again, I don't feel the weaponry disadvantage is going to be that painful. Look at that, Ceylon still not stopping. Has his showstopper online already. Does not get any frags, but does have a lot of space to work with now. It's not going to be easy for the side of nearest Bustand to try and enter into site C. And all the players are going to be collected right outside of it, because the remaining 2 have already been picked off. So that's going to be an easy fight. Ceylon gets one more, and now there's nothing more that can be done from the side of nearest Bustand but hope for the next round. That too with not the best economy anymore.
A little bit of an upgrade for Confident Beaker, but a pre-fire coming through from Swag to go in for the shot there too from the opposite end. Heard the sound, he heard the bullets, and he's going to be able to take the advantage. The nearest Bustand now looking for any overextended players that could be awaiting them. The slow lurk up now. Nearest Bustand, they have a chance to win for a play over towards the seaside. One more away from the thrash here for Swag as Shigar. Waiting on the angle with just a bucky in his hand. And now it's all about the timing. No information whatsoever as Swag, the world being against him here to try and go in for the play. And Shigar comes in around the corner
Distraction.
like a dagger in the night. 3-0. XCrew, they take a pretty decisive lead early on in this game.
That distraction from Fade in the last second just put Shikhar in a very winning position for that fight. Gave him the opportunity to peek out and go ahead, take that frag. Very well set up from the team as well. Beautifully executed from the side of XCrew. I thought this was gonna be a much more one-sided affair towards the side of nearest Bustand. But then again, you and I both know nearest Bustand like to take their time towards the first initial rounds and then eventually adapt accordingly. So even though it's a 3-0 scoreline, there's no rounds whatsoever for the side of nearest Bustand yet. You cannot still call it out of the game. There's a lot that can still happen.
Ouch. That's gonna hurt.
The man does not want to stop at all.
Yeah, Mighty nearly got that kill though. But no one's going to be able to help him out on that one. There's too many players in towards the seaside. The read was perfect from the members of XCrew. Hit accuracy at every turn. I take it back. XCrew, they've been putting in the hours and they have been scrimming. That is for certain because the team play and synergy looks to be incredible. Especially for Ceylon, that individual brilliance that he brings onto the table.
10 frags
All their duels can
already.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
no
two
other
frags
duelist can do something like that.
Yep. And we were already weighing Neon better than Raze to begin with. Imagine what if he had put in the same hours on Neon that he did on Raze. It would have been
Hey,
a
we
whole
have
different
seen Ceylon
ballgame.
on Ray. We have seen Ceylon on the Neon too.
The spike. Drop the spike.
Remember
Yeah,
the
but
map
I'm
of
talking about
Sunset
this
where he just
particular
slipped
map.
and slide in a way?
Yeah. Yep. So many times into the face of the enemy and still winning the fights.
Not ready yet. Shadow.
It's
In top
just
10
him.
for a reason.
It's not a simple thing to be there, but for Confident Peaker, the confidence not looking that good. We have Jinx for old Ceylon here every turn, but we have not Jinx Shikar.
Spike down.
Scooby Dooby Doo. Sorry, Dooby Dooby Doo. He's gonna be able to find that first initial kill
Do be
here.
like that.
Enemy remaining.
But with the opening already gone through, Rage, it's now his turn. Does have the Prowler to gain a little bit more information on the angle, but he gave away the sound and Rage, capitalizing on top of it, able to find a hit on his own accord. 5-0. As members of XCrew, even when the odds are stacked against them, they're still able to make it work.
Exactly. Nearest Bustand in the beginning itself, 69G went ahead, got themselves a good enough margin to go ahead and work out on this man count advantage that was built up there. But then XCrew just hid inside a smoke, did a very basic smoke sneak, got 2 frags out of there, and Shikhar is just like walking in easy peasy, balancing out all the numbers. It just doesn't seem like it's all about work. I think the luck is also favoring XCrew right now.
Place where they are standing in. Really does show one thing. Members of nearest bus stand, they're not really able to execute on their ideas at all. They're being read too often. They need to try to sell a little bit more for fakes on either side of the map. Maybe play a little bit more towards the A-long control, cut off noise for certain positions, try to set up AK Demon a little bit as well. Just allow him to create the chaos all by himself on the opposite side of the map, because I haven't really seen AK Demon do anything. I didn't even know of the Chamber's existence in a lot of these rounds, which is kind of the issue. Unless we see that change coming out soon, teams just making themselves a hole that they can never really get out of.
There is a man count disadvantage towards the side of XCrew this time, and NBS is trying to be pretty cautious and careful. They don't want to risk it anymore. The numbers are climbing for the side of XCrew constantly. And if they lose this one, they might not have another shot at good weaponry for another 2 rounds. So, want to take it slow, and it's still giving enough opportunities for the side of XCrew, but now it's a 1v4, and that's not going to result into something good. That cannot, yeah. That with a Bucky? Sure. Sure.
Yeah, you can literally feel the impact when you shoot someone with a Bucky. One of the most satisfying weapons to get a kill with. For XCrew, pretty hefty loss there. This is what I meant. Like, when you allow AK Demon to just work his magic and get him into a position where he can play a lot better, that's when you really start to pick up on these rounds. They're looking for these early engagements as much as they can, and as soon as AK Demon gets into position for it, should be fine with this. The force coming through from the opposite side with an early start here for the defenders. They're trying to hold into this position. Personal hit still yet to come as AK Demon waiting for the opportunity with Salon possibly opting for the swing. Knowing him, the guy loves to take a fight, but Salon's duels are perfect for a reason.
Completely agree. This time around, XCrew still trying to get back in the game. They're already in lead, but they don't want to lose any numbers whatsoever. Scooby-Dooby-Doo already in a very good position. No, he's not Scooby. It do be like that sometimes. You misspell a name, and by then the whole round is done for. The chaos that's created from the side of XCrew, they're on the winning side of it.
Absolutely. It seems to be their own home turf in XCrew. Even though the team really just, on paper, when you look at the players, you would have not expected such a dominant scoreline, but at the end, I don't really think this team, we can call them individuals anymore. They're coming together as a squad. They're hitting all of the shots. They are able to coordinate with each other when it comes down to their utility. They're communicating extremely well as well. As you can tell, in this particular round, the hit for utility, it's already prepped and ready, as both sides are throwing everything other than the kitchen sink at one another.
This is not gonna be easy. With that ultimate online, but wait a minute, it gets shut down instantly. Shikhar just peeking constantly.
One enemy remaining.
My ult.
And with
Confidence,
confident
one
Pika in
bullet.
his all-confident self.
Too much confidence. Too much
That should have
confidence.
been,
My bot.
yeah, that should have been a good enough, vertical angle. Both of them should have been on different heights, peeking together. This just should have been a much easier fight. They didn't have to swing individually, that too from opposite directions of that platform. It's just sad. Hasty mistakes.
Need to find an option for this too. Turrets are now online here. Doobie wants to go in for something like that. Spike yet to get picked up. I'm pretty sure his teammates have given the call out of exactly where the spike
30
is,
seconds
but
left.
then the answers are not as clear cut as you would have hoped for. I like the fact that Scooby, he has not yet revealed his exact position. Once already spotted here, tad bits of damage being given, but the fact that the turret is online for him, it's gonna be even better. He can now opt for the nanoswarm play in from the back line. He needs to clear on multiple different angles, and AK Demon scared for the possibilities. Second guessed himself, and he got put into the bag because of it. 71, ladies and gentlemen, as XCrew, they get the clutch. But at the same time, this clutch should not have been a clutch to begin with.
I agree. But the numbers just keep rising for the side of XCrew, and they must be pretty happy to be in this position because, honestly, we were all thinking somewhere that nearest Bustand might have an easier time. And again, this being such a one-sided affair, at least for the first half, it's not looking good. The morale, the overall trust of the team on each other, everything is down in the shackles right now. This time they're gonna take it slow, as they should, but in the meanwhile also try to derive some utility from the opposite side. There they go, they were able to successfully do so a little bit. But Ceylon, this man is not stopping. He has so much to pick.
That's just
4v2
Salon for you
already.
as a player.
Exactly, I mean, he's forgotten his breaks at home. And he's playing from home, probably, still.
And then this is
Oh my
just...
goodness.
It's a complete another wash here from the members of XCrew. They're in the heads of their opponents. They're not even allowing Nearest Bustand to try and go in for a possible comeback hit. XCrew, they're here to finish this as quickly as possible. This is a very different team from what we witnessed on their match up against Deadlift. Up against Deadlift, they were still having so many more difficulties of trying to coordinate it with one another, to get a proper read on their opposition, to go where they really needed to go. But here, not at all. They know exactly what Nearest Bustand are trying to do. They know exactly how to establish a lot of aggressive control as quickly as they possibly can. That's what's giving them such a significant edge. Already tipping across. Look at Salon. He's taking the swings that he needs to. The fights connecting and the shots are accurate. Reed was gorgeous, and now it's all up to AK Demon to
1v2
try and
now.
come back into this.
Yep, down to a 1v2, that too with both the ultimates available on the other side. One already been used to collect all the information in the world on a map like this. Look at that. Once he knew where he wasn't, he knew where he can be.
I think poor old Cigar is just having another problem of his smokes. As fast for the one ways, but they don't really need it. Salon has 9 deaths, but honestly, that's just because he's been playing so fearlessly.
Here.
It's not a single situation where you would say that Salon died unnecessarily. He's able to find a kill or two before he does get caught off. He's mainly doing it based upon his teammates' information. Early hit once again. Salon on the angle. The shot yet to connect, but he's able to live here. Delay out the push even further while Rage is going to be able to find another kill. Big one at that with the Outlaw. Chicardo taking a back seat here for the defense a little bit too early. Could cause them some issues with the smoke no longer being present. They're opting for the fast hit, but this is so dangerous for them to fight into. But Salon, he had the read and he's going to be able to find two. Showstopper, ready and waiting. As Doobie just needs to live here. Take no risk, play it slow. Because you have your own raise on the opposite side of the door to go in for the play. As Doobie, he has the perfect read. And the plan, completely denied out.
That's a 10-1. 10-1 on the boards right now.
Last round before the
And look at the ultimate economy for the side of XCrew. They have 4 ultimates online already. And the 5th might not happen in this round. And NBS on the other hand has 3. But I think the win potential on the ultimates towards XCrew is just much more bigger. They have the lockdown, they can literally have complete area under control. They have Nightfall, they can have all the information in the entire world. They have Showstopper with fragging potential and alongside Rolling Thunder to keep the players at bay. I mean, what more do you need?
Ouch.
And the other force gets shut down. That instantly. This is a sad demise for the side of Chamber. AK Demon just not going to be able to continue that barrage.
It's a very slow start for them, which is another big problem. Not even peeking anymore. Rage. He knows the importance of discipline.
Oh, goodness.
And he's going to be torso level aiming that beautifully. Don't forget that the torso is a lot bigger than the overall upper body.
Oh my
As
God.
Rage utilizing the bigger hitbox for perfection. Last one already spotted. Nightfall as well. Be utilized on top of him for old swag. Got outed by 3 people. Everyone's trying to shut him down. 11-1. Such a dominant scoreline here in the upper brackets is something that we were not expecting at all, ladies and gentlemen. But for XCrew, just seems to be another day in the office.
Absolutely. Seems to be one of the days when they skipped breakfast. They're munching down their enemies right now, one after the other.
Don't talk about breakfast.
The
I'm
way-
sorry.
The way XCrew is playing right now is just amazing. There's been 12 rounds in total. Ceylon already has 17 frags to his name. And look at the KD. Oh my god. 14 frags and 4 deaths. That's what the Fade is standing at. Can you believe that?
They're making it
It's
happen.
more than 3 KD.
They're making it happen. Slow and steady wins the race for them, but for the members of XCrew, completely opposite scenario. AK Demon has made a lot of forward space here. As Doobie might just walk into his awaiting arms here. Good alarm bot early on to just catch out any players that would try to play overly aggressive towards C-Long. And the thing is, if anyone plays overly aggressive towards C-Long, they can't really run away that quickly either. Everyone collapsing on towards the face of AK Demon before he is able to get out. The greed really working against him here. That first kill, it's massive. As XCrew, they have the proper macro read as well. At every turn you go to, XCrew is just waiting to go in for that first advantage. This initial pistol round is so well thought out.
That's true. And look at the quick rotation that came in from their side. They know site A is completely empty now because of the advances they made towards site C. It's going to be an easy plant, but the post plant might be slightly more difficult to hold on to. There's still watch from the side of Ceylon. Ceylon is patiently waiting for T-Swag to come in. Loses the fight. 3 people lose the fight all at once. And T-Swag will be able to take away the last one as well. The post plan did look difficult and turned out to be one as well.
Absolutely. They didn't really have a lot of map control to play with, and all of them were taking a lot more 1v1 individual duels instead of trying to play for trades there. Each swing that came in just really worked that well as you would have expected. AK Demon, I do believe, has gone for a little bit of a restart, so small bits of technical difficulty as they're trying to fix things out here. Overall, XCrew, I'm pleasantly surprised. Everything that they're trying to do is on standard, that is for certain, but
Today isn't a day for defensive sentinels. In the first
Yeah,
half,
really
we
is.
had tech pauses for do playing sentinel on the defensive side, and now that NBS is on the defensive side, we are getting tech pauses for AK Demon.
Yeah, but don't forget, AK Demon probably has a crucial SSD, ladies and gentlemen, so we can instantly jump into the game. As you just see, barely been like 20-25 seconds in, and is already back into the game. Make sure to check out all the links down below in the description. If you want to get yourself a crucial SSD to match the speeds of AK Demon. The guy's not having a good game right now, but wait until the next map. I'm pretty sure he will start to show up.
I believe if Haven turns out to be one of the matches where NBS is completely in revenge mode and it turns out to be yet another one-sided affair towards the side of NBS, your wishes might get fulfilled. We'll walk right into Abyss. And look at me thinking so far ahead of myself. It's still going on, guys. The match is alive. We have 11-2 scoreline on the boards. It's not over yet. But you can never know. What do you think about Outlaw Aggressive? I feel like it's one of those weapons which has completely changed the second round meta. I'm not seeing as many marshals anymore.
The Outlaw has its strengths and its weaknesses, I would say. It's a good weapon, but at the same time, it's not really a weapon that revolutionizes the meta in a lot of different ways.
Okay.
But in the right hands, yeah, it can do stuff like this. Marshall still has its own place as well. If you are that sharpshooter who doesn't really have the economy to go in for a Marshall, go in for an Outlaw, Marshall still holds this place, but for AK Demon, he just needs an Outlaw on his fingers to just make things work. All of the players from XCrew, and land off on the top rope. Beautiful play by Mighty, using the parkour system to its fullest. 11-3, as the members of the nearest Bustand on the defensive side are showing some life.
The moment all three of the players got collected near that box, I knew this is what was going to happen. It was a very well executed post-plan scenario for the side of NBS. They just made sure there was no way to go for all of the players, and next time around, at least on side C, there's going to be a lot more caution from the side of XCrew. If there isn't, then they're not learning from their mistakes. You cannot have yourself squeezed down into one single corner on side C, not when you have so many players alive on the other side. You got to be more calculative, and if you're not going to have that many early frags, if it was me, I wouldn't go to side C to begin with. But then again, there's more than just number of players on the opposite side to consider when you make this move.
Absolutely.
Go get him.
There's a lot of different factors that you need to consider. AK Demon missed out on a crucial bullet here.
Yeah.
The fade. Thanking his lucky stars for that one. Straight up dodged a bullet like Neo from the Matrix. Smitey. In the first line of contact is he's opting for a bit of a bait, making sure the Omen is not being spotted, but Ben 10s! He really needed to hit that shot.
I think Mighty did an oopsie there.
A little bit, but poor old Ben. He needed that frag to come through. 69G is going to be able to find one with his dying breath here from the opposite side. Swag on the back lines, trying to deal some damage. Doobie-doo over from the back. He's just able to find all of the frags, individual kills, one after the other. Now it's all up to AK Demon once again. The problems that he has. He's not going to be able to do much. It's Doobie. Accurate crosshair placement to go in for the one tap. 12-3. It's XCrew. They're looking to end things off here.
Whatever he was trying to do, AK Demon could not do to Doobie-Doobie-Doo. That was such a crisp shot. So crisp from the side of the kill drive. It's a 12-3 already. But I think there's still potential on the side of NBS to pull this longer. Finally, the stars are shining. It even gets the first initial casualty in his favor. Never mind, all balance out. Where do we do? Yet again a sneak peek, but then through the smoke he has been brought down all the way to 15 HP. He cannot do much but be a bait now.
In the chamber, there's still an opportunity to do so. Rage though, working up. Slow and steady wins the race for him. Beautiful first kill. The lurk up was gorgeous. He's not really clearing out all of the angles as AK Demon given a chance. Even with 15 HP, he does find the trade for his buddies, giving them the best possible setup that you can hope for. Not a full clearance, but at the bare minimum, they have the site plan to play with. Doobie would expect that he would go in for a little bit more of an aggressive play, but instead, they're being on the much more defensive side. Ben able to find that first opening kill. Confident peeker in the back lines. He's able to find the first, but immediately, Ben, he just had the better positioning to go in for the trade as Mighty goes on the angle, swings through, and doesn't even need to do anything. Was the distraction that allowed the members of NBS to get another round under their belt. There's still a lot of fight left in the members of the nearest bus stand. They're making plays happen, but in a way, it's a little bit too little too late. Because now, they're at death's door. The Reaper is knocking.
That's true, as long as they can hold it back, it's gonna be more and more time inching closer and closer to XCrew's scoreline. NBS, as you mentioned, it is too late, but they're still trying, and that fight is definitely rewarding. And Intense way too aggressive in his position gets through in the early stages itself. I'm seeing a lot more well-functioning machine from the side of NBS right now than I did in the first half. If they continue to move this way, they might just be not so far away from the side of XCrew. 12-5 as the scoreline stands. All the way from 11-1 to 12-5. I think that's a lot. That says a lot.
They're taking a lot of aggressive duels as quickly as they possibly can too, which is a good thing. The fact that NBS have finally taken that initiative to not allow XCrew to really play at the pace that they want, this is where they're finding all of the advantages. XCrew as well left scratching their heads a little bit of what exactly is going wrong with them, primarily because they're thinking that NBS, they're going to be playing it slow, but instead, every time NBS are given an opportunity, they're pushing up, they're taking fights, they're taking duels. It's going to be so perfect for them. Flash across, good utility, and a good ult as well coming in from Salon. Proper conjunction of utility is just so important, and the fact that they were able to do so, that is the adaptation that was required. XCrew, they should be able to take this round if they just keep their minds calm going into this duel.
A good trade from the side of Ceylon, but it was definitely not a loss they should have had to face if they really wanted to win. Not having your controller for opposed plans.
Spike planted.
That is unfortunate.
It is.
What?
Getting killed up against, but wait a second, what are you telling me?
Our job gets a
Did they literally just squeeze this back from moment like that?
Swag
What just
probably got the most. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it the way that it is. You had the luckiest double kill that you like. There's a saying, right? You can't quantify luck. That's the first thing. And then there was Confident Peeker, who just lined up 3 players all at once with Doobie right below him to go in for a second frag. It's the game of Valorant, ladies and gentlemen. Some of these rounds are going to be like that. There's going to be some rounds where your team is just able to calculate everything. The first initial start of this round was just gorgeous. Good utility usage. 3 stun on the right side, great Prowler, and a Neon stun coming all together, making sure that Mighty just could not a Neon stun, sorry, and a Showstopper coming in from the race to just immediately stop Mighty from going. That's a good first play. Then came the second kill. They were able to find the trade. After that, everything just got blown out of proportion. Ultimate was perfect, coming in from the breach as well. Swag getting the double kill. No business whatsoever. Confident Peeker suddenly swinging out and finding 3 players lined up for him. You cannot tell me that was calculated. This is Valorant in a nutshell.
I have no idea what exactly was the attempt from the side of NBS on that last moment, but yeah, it definitely turned out to be very lucky and very fortunate for the side of Confident Peaker nonetheless. And the way he dealt with the overall situation was pretty intense and also surprising for us. Even though we were seeing everything unfold right in front of our eyes, that sudden notification on the right being like Confident Peaker got 2 frags and then Doobie got 1 and then the attackers have 1. I was not expecting to see that. I thought it's going to be a couple more rounds now because of the way the round was unfolding altogether and the numbers advantage that was already there and the tight position that players from the side of XCrew were completely squeezed into. It just... Let me just not say a lot and let's just take a look at this last round yet again alongside all the beautiful things that happened already in crucial moments.
I don't really know what to say. XCrew on the defense, they were just on a league of their own. Especially when it came down to Salon. Man was just hitting each and every shot that was required by him. That consistency just gave them the entire game all by itself. No one really was able to contest him on a lot of these fights either. Unless you traded out Salon with at least 2 or 3 players on your team, it was very difficult to shut him down. Then you had the superstars just lurking in the back, players like Rage, Confident Peaker, and then Shikar, who can instantly turn up at any second when you needed them to. Nearest Bustand just had all the odds stacked against them, and even though there were some moments of brilliance coming in from their team on the defensive side, what happened on the attack? They lost way too many rounds to justify a possible comeback because they have not given themselves that breathing room required to make things happen.
True that. There was a lot of calculation coming in from the side of NBS towards the second half, but yeah, the way XCrew played overall, you can already see it on the scorecards. And look at Rage's KDA. It's 17-9, and at one point it was 14-4. That's just outstanding. Even Killjoy, it's a 13-6. Overall KD for all 3 of these players is pretty good.
True. They knew how to be consistent with their trades in every regard. Confident Peaker is possibly the only one that didn't have a really good game, but at the same time, he did his job. I'm not even gonna say
Got
once.
the most crucial round.
Yeah, exactly. Confident Peaker just had that, again, confidence to do whatever the hell he wanted when his team needed him. He had the perfect stuns, his flashes were accurate as well. Slon was having a field day because of it. In that sense, the Breach is just his own agent. And as we go on down over onto Haven, if they're able to keep the same level of coordination going for this team, there's Bustand. They have a lot to deal with.
I agree. It's not going to be an easy ride, and I mean, after this scoreline, nearest Bustand is going to need its own breathing room to be able to come back into the game with a fresh mindset, because you cannot have a loss like this on your tables and then expect a team to just not be affected by it at all. Specifically when it's such an important match. You go directly into the grand finals.
To be honest, knowing the nearest Bustand, I don't think they're rattled by this loss as much as you think. They should be okay, to say the very least. Gonna be able to turn things around from here. Because we have seen nearest Bustand in the past, right? Where this roster, they do take a pretty hefty loss on map number 1, but in map number 2, they're able to turn things around purely on the basis of them just being nearest Bustand. They don't let their mental get shattered that easily. That's what we know them for, but even then, if you have a strong mental going into the start of a map, later stages is going to be an even more difficult one. MVP of the map, of course, will be Salon, ladies and gentlemen. 21 kills to his name, with 7 first kills to go around in. He was just an incredible dominant force.
Beautifully done from the side of Ceylon. We know this is gonna push him higher up on the overall top 10 leaderboard, on the level up leaderboard. Pretty excited to see that soon enough. But yeah, he has been unimaginably sharp on this particular map. I mean, from the starting till the end, every single round, I don't think there was a moment where we did not take his name. He was just up there, out there, taking all the chances and making the best of it at every single time.
Absolutely. That's just Salon for you, ladies and gentlemen. As a player, he just cannot be stopped. And when he has his teammate behind him, it's even more difficult to do so. Previously, when they were going up against Deadlift, Confident Peaker really didn't give Salon a lot of the setups that you would have hoped for. But in this match, Confident Peaker was with him 24/7. They had that proper buddy system going. The initiator and the duelist combination that everyone should have on their team was present.
I see. I mean, yeah, the way Confident Peaker has enabled Ceylon nonetheless is pretty amazing. I mean, I wouldn't have expected that, at least not in today's games, because I felt like every single player was gonna have to be so cautious and so careful, so devoted towards playing their own role in the game, that it would be pretty hard for them to enable each other. But the way Breach did it for Ceylon, completely unimaginable, and even the results are unimaginable for that.
Absolutely. But we'll have to see the results of this best of 3 now, don't we? We're going to be setting up game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, in the background and making sure the players are prepped and ready for it. Make sure to check out all the links down below in the description in the meantime. And we're going to be back. Short word from our sponsors.
Your system. Alright, let's do this.
Once there was a hunter who saw what others could not. With a magic case in her backpack, she roamed with wild abandon into the great unknown. Her gaze inescapable, her reflexes lightning fast. When armies swarmed, she went through. With eyes open wide, hands steady, holding, watching, capturing everything in sight.
The Crucial Pro DDR5 RAM kit comes with a sleek, modern look that will complement any build. But aesthetics aside, it's the performance that really matters. So let's dive into it. The default JEDEC timings are 46, 45, 45, but it does come with 2 XMP and Expo settings for those looking for a little more performance. With XMP 3.0 Profile 1, you can push the speed up to 5600 megatransfers per second. If you prefer a slightly lower speed but tighter timings, Profile 2 offers 5200 megatransfers per second at 42, 42, 42 timings. We've run some benchmarks and stress tests to give you an idea of how it performs. In general, dropping the speed and tightening the timings with the second XMP/Expo profile yielded better results for us on our test system. Paired with a Ryzen 7800X3D, we saw anywhere from a 1 to 5% performance bump depending on workloads. All in all, the Crucial Pro DDR5 64GB RAM kit by Micron is a fantastic choice for first-time builders and enthusiasts alike.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. The Esports Showdown Series Season 5 Valorant powered by Crucial by Micron with our GPU partners Zotac Gaming and our media partners Gossip.gg. Hopefully you guys have been dabbling in the links down below in the description because we had a decently long break because we were setting up the players so that they can have the best possible experience inside of the game. A couple of changes have been made to the overall roster. The substitutes are going to be coming in for map number 2, so there will be quite a few changes overall, to say the very least, to how this map of Haven will be played. Clean slates from either side, because as soon as you bring in a substitute, the overall team dynamic and playstyle will shift to quite a degree. Let's see who's going to be the ones to come on in, as it's going to be, of course, your boy Aggressive with Ahana on my side to bring you the action.
It's definitely going to be a lot for both the teams to go ahead and actually accommodate their substitutes, as well as read the other substitute and how the game is changing and revolving around their presence, because generally to accommodate the skill set of a person who's getting added in the middle of the whole series is not as easy to do. Also, if it turns out to be as functional as you want it to be, it's still something that you have to work around, like may or may not have been the initial strategy for the team in whichever way they go right now. So I mean, I believe that the adaptability is going to come up to be one of the most important things right now, because both the teams are going to have to make sure that they adapt not only to their own player but also the change of player on the opposite side as well, alongside the fact that there might just be a completely new composition nonetheless.
Yep. There's a high chance that there's going to be situations where adaptability can be an issue, but at the same time, knowing the members of XCrew, I don't think they're going to have that much of a problem. We've seen them adapt in almost every turn, and Ornash, if he's going to be coming in to play for the team now, the adaptability is just going to go up. He is one of those players that really knows how to piece himself into almost any scenario and be the player that his team needs him to be. But I'm not going to be overly confident in the team, particularly just yet, because 69G, from what we know, he's also not going to be playing from the side of the year's Bustand, so a lot of the firepower that they could have on their roster is going to be taking a backseat to it.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be important to mark down all the differences between the teams that were already there amongst themselves, and also what's going to change once the substitutes come into play. I do want to see a lot more coming in from the side of nearest Bustand. We saw very few rounds go into their favor the last time around, and also very few wiggle room for them to actually even try to execute what they had in plans, because to be honest, the way the games were going on, it seemed like the complete control, the pacing, everything, especially towards the first half, was in the hands of XCrew, and they gave no mercy to nearest Bustand in the first half to even try to execute something from their attacking side. But now that it's gonna be a completely new map, a whole new story, and after such a big break, there's definitely a lot of momentum shifts as well that might have happened in the middle of it. A lot of momentum might have broken down for the side of XCrew. Nearest Bustand might have been able to go ahead and clear their heads and come back into the game with a completely new mindset. This could completely change the story. And as you were saying, Abyss has shown up in the map pool very rarely, and if I'm correct, probably not even once on Showdown Series. And hence, you and I both want this to go to the third map. So, I mean, I'm hoping for that momentum shift to have really happened.
We can hope, but at the same time, we can't always be able to get the best of things now, do we? Because of the way that XCrew have been playing, I'm a little bit iffy on whether or not we're going to be able to see it. But knowing Salon as a player, he's going to be on the Neon, right? This will be he's going to be on the Neon. It's Haven. He's not going to be picking up on that Jet. Because Jet in this current meta just doesn't really exist anymore unless you're playing Ascent. Even on Ascent, a lot of teams have started incorporating that Neon into that overall game plan. So it's going to be tough, to say the very least, to get over the hurdle to reach that third map. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt for all of it, because in my personal opinion, there are chances that it can go to Abyss. Those chances are very slim, because XCrew, from what we have seen them pull off in the first initial map, even with a substitute, Barnage still fits into the team really well. We saw that yesterday when they were, the day before yesterday, sorry, when they were going up against Deadlift. they are still able to do so. We're going to be jumping on down over into the agent selection, ladies and gentlemen. Players are prepped and ready to load into the server. As you can see, the agent selection is already done. Salon insta-locking that neon before we could even say it.
True that. We are seeing Ezzy from the side of NBS this time around, and the replacement from the side of attackers is going to be the presence of Goranch, as you mentioned. Yep, I feel like it's going to be a very mirrored composition except for the change in the Sentinel and the Duelist. And Mighty is choosing the Jet. As you mentioned, the Jet does not exist anymore, but let's see if there's going to be enough to bring to the table from the side of Mighty on this one, because this is their last shot. If they don't make it, they don't even see Abyss or even the future on upper brackets anymore. They will have to drop down to the lower brackets, take a fight up there, which might be against Ace or against Zero Frags, depending on whoever wins the match today. Not gonna be an easy run.
Not at all. You'll have to climb Mount Everest if you want to make things work here. Showdown Series is brutal for that very reason. Whichever team has the mettle to do so, whichever team has the drive to make that climb happen, of course, be the ones to take victory. As players are loading in towards the server of Even, ladies and gentlemen, I really am gonna be the devil's advocate and say that the members of Nearest Bustand are gonna be able to. I do believe now they have a better understanding of what Salon is really capable of, how often he likes to take these aggressive duels, and if they want to go up against him, they might need to sacrifice one player, but almost guarantee a trade in every other turn when it comes down to the second duel. Salon has a tendency of going all by himself when he is on that neon, because he knows how self-sufficient he can be as a player. That self-sufficiency is his greatest strength, but at the same time, his greatest weakness, because that overconfidence could just be the thing that brings him back.
Over aggressive, as you just mentioned, and failing at it. In the meanwhile, though, Goranch was able to secure one for the side of Zero Frags, but NBS is going to have the upper hand in this one. Oh no, he's missing shots.
Yeah, that's his thing. Good early shots here already being given out by the members of the Nearest Bustand. Good early opening as the B-side push pretty much read into here. Even though this round just started, it's already pretty much done and dusted, because the members of Nearest Bustand are able to get good leads going into this half.
Go, go, go! Go, go, go!
Well, the second round might narrate the story of yet another victory for the side of NBS with the better weaponry. Ceylon, however, yet again way too deep into enemy territory, and the first one to get taken down. AK Demon finally being able to convert his outlaw shots. We saw how it went on Lotus. It did not favor him at all, but this time around it's going to be a 3v3 post plans in
Never mind.
which can be converted into a beneficial one for the side of XCrew. Shikhar. Not only has he gotten the kill, but also upgraded his weapon.
Mighty is possibly looking for a hit here as well. Dashes across, not going to be able to connect the shots here, but Ganache instead able to capitalize and hold. A couple of good bullets is all that Ganache needs to turn this one on its head. Good chances and opportunities, slowly but surely. Mighty on the angle, needs to try to go in for the play with the swing out. Ganache! This is the player that I always hype up for a reason. He knows what to do in these clutch situations. Let it be on a Sova, let it be on a Cypher. And the thrifty round indeed is going to give the members of XCrew a chance to snowball this out of control. The Nearest Bustand left scratching their heads, but at the same time, that was a very good try for them to try and go in for a match.
Very well executed from the side of XCrew. The way they have been able to hold on to their plant this time around will stop Nearest Bustand in their steps, but it's not going to be as difficult for the side of Nearest Bustand to come back from here, because it's still an equalizer. They still have the opportunity of setting up the lead for themselves. They need it. They desperately need it nonetheless. Ceylon does need to control his aggression a little bit, just a little bit. Be a little more calculative about where he's moving. Might soon face off against T-Swag and 3 others. That has to be all the information he needs. Redeeming himself for the past mistakes. Gets 3 frags on his name. Ceylon. Just annihilating NBS. The weaponry obviously also is an advantage.
Straight up W key warriors. Members of XCrew. They have the stronger weapons.
like
This
the-
team just cannot be stopped.
True, it's like they're trying to cover up for the time that they've lost.
They're taking each and every duel with a stride of confidence. That's perfect. This goes to show that the team, even after all the pauses, still have all the momentum they showcased on that first initial map going into this. Slow though on this particular round as they're trying to feel out their opposition, knowing that they have eyes playing into it. Real willy-nilly rushes as information. A little bit starved here for the attackers as the nearest Bustand not really giving out much
There.
utility. Used properly here, but the crossfire is even better. Flash through from the opposite side. The shot needs to connect here, but Swag fell asleep on the angle. Ceylon punishes him for it. Any small mistake that you make, and Ceylon, he's not going to give you any time to try and capitalize or try to recover from it.
Exactly. XCrew yet again on the better side of it if you consider numbers, but Academian's position is going to be crucial. He gets his first.
Destroyed.
Looking forward to a second with the turret gone. He does not have his half man alive.
30 seconds left.
Now that the positions are all revealed as well, it might give them an easier post-plan scenario with the numbers also being up for the side of XCrew. The barrage of players is coming in. The numbers will keep going up for the side of Goranch.
Remaining.
But Ben 10's just fighting it off equally. A 1v1. Look at Goranch's HP. His goal here should be to buy time, should be to make sure that the defuse is not possible, not really to go ahead and make sure that he's able to take up a fight which he can win. However, he does not have any util to be able to do that. He'll have to face off.
Concentrate, Sova.
Knowing him, it's Garnash, man. He has the perfect timing in his head. The fact that he wasn't even warmed up in game number 1, coming into game number 2, and already has a 4K to start things off. 1 to 3,
Exactly, I
ladies and
mean-
gentlemen.
Yeah, the numbers on Goranch are just flashy.
It's just him, and look at him. He's the anchor for the team. Even though his teammates went in for the swing, he just didn't go in for it. He's just like, nope, you guys have your fun. I'm gonna be the one who wins the
Yeah.
round for us instead.
Do that. Anyway, Trace going back into the game. Rage off to a very good start for the side of XCrew. 2 shots from that outlaw, both returning casualties for the team. Numbers are still gonna stay up. NBS still trying to find their way back into the site while the plant has already taken its time. Oh no, is he gonna miss it?
Possibly with an answer here. Shikar spotted out the player, but Swag, his bullets are reigning supreme. Wait a moment. Never mind, Swag.
Last player standing.
He's now ready to go in for the hit. One from the side. Swag just comes in with a knife to finish him off too. Good God, look at Swag. He's just like, yep, lower it down, buddy. This guy is ice cold.
To win.
Very well done from the side of Swag. I mean, it was if it wasn't for him, there was no chance for NBS to even come back into the game. He was just cool, calm, and collected. As you mentioned, ice.
He truly has ice in his veins. Look at that smile on him. Swag just swagged on them as well. Went up to his namesake, that is for certain. Nothing that you can do to try and stop him on that regard. It's XCrew. Now, left a little bit in shambles, but I'm pretty sure that that one knife has made the team a lot more competitive. It's easy. Be able to find a little bit more of a trade-off here, but Salon, once again, I kept on saying, his biggest strength is also his biggest weakness. Self-sufficiency that he was known for. He misses a shot, could just be the thing that drags him down if they're not careful. Big ultimates in the hands of the defense though, so they don't really need to try and fight in towards the side. Hunter's Fury now being utilized to deny the plant, possibly find a kill. Knowing the situation, he might be able to. Instead, it's going to be some damage, but the Killjoy lockdown is going to be used as the second.
Well, a Hunter's Fury is going to be available from the side of XCrew as well. Might be able to fight off a Killjoy lockdown if it happens to show up. But well, it's been committed before that already. Finds a frag, equalizes the number, puts them in a winning position. And with the time ticking against the players of NBS, might just be the moment they had waited for. With the lockdown in place. Confident people just climbing numbers here. Oh goodness!
What?
The timing! Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to absorb the fact that this happened. I saw the truth.
Confident Peaker just casually tapped everyone away, even though the Killjoy lockdown was ticking away. Regardless, his teammates ran away, but Confident Peaker just saved. Every single player from the side of XCrew just have that X factor to them. Possibly that's why they're called the XCrew when you think about it. If that's the origin of the name, then that's a completely different story. That last round for Confident Peaker was just perfect.
That's true, and talking about origins of the names, the fact that his name is Confident Peaker and he was confident enough to stay inside the Killjoy lockdown and still keep taking fights. Anyways, yet again, a very quick execute from the side of XCrew. Side C has been under siege, and with that plant in place, they are already waiting for the defenders to just walk in one by one to be killed by themselves. Mighty though!
A hard hit early on. Jose trying to hold down the line, but there's a lot of spam that he has to deal with. 3 players already up and ready. Grenache opting for the spray, being able to connect it all. 2-5 is XCrew, riding the momentum of the last 2 rounds, playing into this year. So members of nearest Bustand still yet to figure out a plan to try and stop these giants, even though they had all of the ultimates in the entire world to try and win that previous round. The fact that they did lose it, now spiraling this lead out of control. Confident Peaker is 1 away from the Hunter's Fury as well, which is going to cause even more problems. Plus, you still have to deal with the Rolling Thunder in the hands of the Breach. How do you even try to turn this one around? Salon's going to be able to W key his way in.
Just
Where's the
not
side?
scared
AK
at
Demon
all.
able to go in from the cracks, but still the trade is simultaneous. If AK Demon was able to find a second, this could have been a lot more of a highly contested round.
With Ultimate Online, Ceylon might be in a good position, but won't be. Because it's a 1v3 now with everything laying on Goran. She could not hold against that operator. Well, there's still some fuel left in this nearest bus stand lineup. They're gonna be able to keep the wheels of their bus going round and round.
That is for certain. There's Bustand. I think there are cards right here. For XCrew, trying to stop them is still going to be a difficulty. Rolling Thunder not really finding the value that they would have hoped for. This is why normally people don't use the Rolling Thunder for a side execute unless you have a proper read of the amount of players that are playing from inside the side, or you are in a little bit more of a forward position towards garage. Many different angles to try and consider for yourself, Mighty. Little bit of a couple of spam shots here and there as the smoke. Well placed by Shikar to try and keep the defenders guessing of a possible push towards short. a more methodical play here for Shikar. He's waiting to see if anyone tries to give him a little bit of an opening space here. The opposite Novas could just be causing issues. Ben, his angle's good, but if Shikar clears this, it all depends on if he's cleared or not. But Ben, so ready for it. Swings out, and it's going to be Son who finds the trade regardless on the opposite side. Mighty, position revealed. Now they know exactly where he is. Sun comes through, and Mighty trying to go in for the kill. Yes, he's going to be able to find it, but Salon instantaneously trades out two. This is Salon for you, ladies and gentlemen. When he has the information, he knows how to capitalize.
Last player standing.
I was scared for Rage for a second. He was still able to find T-Swag, get that frag for himself. It's a 1v3 AK Demon. Whether to invest in this fight or not is gonna be his choice. And it seems like he's choosing to walk in. One person graffiti, one person near the spike, and the long angle covered as well. It's not gonna be difficult to hold on. I think the frags are all he wants. There's not gonna be a real commitment yet from the side of AK Demon.
Ouch. Swing across
Gotta
for the
hurt.
Neon, and Confident Peeker right behind him for the swing. Simultaneous double peaks are just looking so well done for the members of XCrew. And this team really has turned everything around from what we saw against Deadlift. Maybe that was a bad day for them because the entire squad just looks to be on the same boat. And their synergy looks unmatched.
Exactly. We were so talking about the fact that from the side of XCrew, there were individual brilliances showing up every now and then, but there wasn't an amalgamation of all the players sitting together and playing together as a team, as an extension of each other. But today, I'm just seeing so much of it that I doubt that that was the same team playing.
Here.
Really. Really quantify a team
Oh, yeah,
like this
that-
that easily now, can you? They're just running in. Once again, the weaker buys working against the members. The nearest bus stand
planted.
is XCrew. Actually just running across and doing whatever the hell they want. Server is theirs as T-Swag. Able to get one weapon for himself, but
Player standing.
watch it out again one more time. It's just not gonna happen. Shikar is ready for the fight with Rage. Smelling out the last. 3-7. The map of Haven really is following the same route as the first initial map. Unless we see a change from the nearest bus stand soon, I do not see how they're gonna be able to turn this one around.
It's gonna be a difficult call for the side of nearest bus stand. But these next two rounds, they need both of them. They cannot have any leeway anymore. They need to seize both of these rounds. They also need to get the pistol and the anti-eco to even find an equalizer for themselves.
Here.
This time around, nearest bus stand has somewhere suspected that there's going to be more crowd towards site A. They have most of their players deployed here, but an early loss already. Make it 2, make it 3. Not looking good.
One enemy remaining.
T-Swag still trying to hold the fort down.
Spike down A.
Bait and switch. He threw out a nano swarm. Never mind. I think because he threw out the nano swarm, Lord knows where that came from. Does he have a read on this?
Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
Spike planted.
No, he
No,
doesn't.
he does not. Expected a flank to come through, but Salon not really trusting his guts for that one. AK Demon using that nano swarm to really bamboozle his opposition of where exactly he could be. 4-7, ladies and gentlemen. This play really did work out in the way that they would have wanted. But Swag being able to find 3 there all by himself, that should not have happened.
Swag has just been getting frags after frags nonetheless. Even though NBS is not the team on the winning side right now, Swag still has more frags than anyone on the side of XCrew.
Swag is just showing his consistency as a player.
True that. He's been carrying a lot of his weight, but the rest of the team needs to buckle up now. It's about time. There's no more chances, not for this match at least, not for going directly into the grand finals.
Absolutely. Take as many chances as you need, but for Salon, he doesn't really need a chance, as he always finds an opportunity. Should be presented soon, but a calm before the storm from either side here. They're waiting to see what kind of a hit that they can go in for Ganache. A little bit of an early spam to try and see if he can bait on one of the players to come on towards him. And now that Salon's posted on the angle with an operator, this is even more of a bigger issue. With the mids being utilized, Swag, possibility of a spam, but Salon, as long as he holds the angle and finds a kill, it could be perfect, but Mighty still will be causing problems. Blade Storm working well, one by one, they're able to find the frags, one more to be spotted, the angle's already given, and the player is found. On the angle, spray through, it's gonna be Chicago who gets another, with Confident Peaker finding the last, 4-8 as XCrew. They take this victory for themselves. Ending the first half with a 4-round lead, they couldn't have asked for anything better on the map.
XCrew already trying to close this down. However, we have seen them stumble around on the second half. From 11-1, they were still brought down to 12-5. So you never know if a similar roll down happens even here on side swap. XCrew might find themselves struggling to close this, and NBS might find themselves a chance to actually pull this in their favor. Just gotta watch out for the second half very carefully for both of the teams.
Being careful is one thing, but at the same time, I don't think they need to be as careful as you would have expected. Overall, for Salon, he'll try to W his way forward, help out his teammates for as long as he possibly can. Couple of good shots, but the flashes are just even better. Salon is looking for the ace, and AK Demon's position is out owed. The hunt begins as Salon can smell the blood in the water. This thirst for the ace could just be his biggest downfall as well. They need to be careful for this. It's AK Demon not really giving as much information away, but with 3 members still alive and kicking for the members of XCrew, it's going to be a tough one for AK Demon to find a clutch on.
Look at them setting it up for the side of Ceylon. Raid just denying it, nonetheless.
That's an answer back for what Swag did. 100%. But for all Salon, man, he deserved the ace.
In either case, the numbers are rolling in yet again for the side of XCrew. I like the weaponry choice from the side of XCrew, but it also feels very much like NBS is not gonna wanna fall back here. They couldn't go for a force, but they do have sheriffs altogether. They're not trying to hold back at all, and shouldn't, considering the way the scoreline looks right now. But the numbers of players, yeah.
Able to do
These outlaws
this
just
so
make things
well
very
as well.
difficult.
True.
Yeah.
Players are finally understanding the strength of this weapon, and even though the price point is a little bit steep from time to time, it can still work out well. Confident Peaker, another 2K for himself to play things out. As XCrew take the 10th on the board.
There are other ways to be useful.
With their double digit already online, it's it's about time for the timeout to happen from the side of NBS. Nonetheless, they have to make sure that they get themselves at least the next round, because that's going to be one where they have the economy, and if they mess that up, then it's it's almost like saying it's 12-4 from there. Because expecting a thrifty when the morale of the team is that down, they do not have a safety net, they do not have the winning advantage. I would not be very confident for a thrifty in that position. So if this one goes away, so does the next one, and then it's way too close for comfort for the side of XCrew.
Absolutely. We'll have to make things work as quickly as they possibly can here. Otherwise, gonna be in a pretty difficult scenario, that is for certain. Nearest bus stand. The last saving grace here. There's one little tactical timeout. Momentum has been broken, but even then, this one outlaw, if they're able to sniff it out from the hands of Rage and find this position, that could be the thing that they need, because he currently has an operator in his hands. Look at the amount of half shields that are on the opposite side. So the fact that they're one shot away from being dead, 2 bullets that can come out from an outlaw, is going to be an extremely difficult fight for them.
Does not look like the best of the days for the side of NBS. They do have a lot of area under control. Look at how far Killjoy is deep within the enemy territory. But the way everything is locked down and seized from the side of the defenders. Oh, this flank is gonna be difficult. Nobody is expecting it from the side of XCrew. If Killjoy is able to secure more than 1 frags, it's already a difficult situation.
Revealing area.
Being aware of her is going to be important. No, there, he can even not 1, not 2, he gets 3.
He's doing it all. The Sega Demon for you, ladies and gentlemen.
One enemy
Able to
remaining.
turn things around on its head pretty much instantaneously. Sega Demon now, he's going to be the one up for the A's, but Ben stealing it away from his buddy
Nobody's doing
once
it.
more.
Yeah.
No one's going to get an ace anytime soon. We want to take this victory because NBS, they do not want to go back down over towards that lower bracket one. There's a lot of scary players waiting for them. The XCrew. The ones who go down there, at least there's a good opportunity for them to go back into it. But for the nearest bus stand, this will be their do or die.
I just don't think that XCrew is going to be able to wrap their heads around how AK Demon reached that far deep in that early on into the game. It was their strategy, not NBS's. Well, either ways, it's going to be about time we see adjustments start happening from both the sides, specifically XCrew. It's a very forward approach from the side of XCrew. The amount of area Ceylon has already acquired for himself. He will have to make sure that he has enough trigger discipline to be able to make the best of it. But no, he got one and gave himself away instantly. With the trades in place, XCrew will be the team with lesser numbers on board.
Oh, poor old Shikar. Tried to run himself out from that one. But regardless, he's going to be able to find 2 kills. And with that opening, he's going to be able to push his way forward in towards the corner on long. No one's going to be clearing him out anytime soon just yet. But with the updraft being utilized, Shikar was not ready for the player that could be coming in towards the bottom. Teleport giving away the last. 2 players still alive and kicking for that one. Shock Dart worked out beautifully. Dealt the first initial bit of damage. Perfect on the swing. Grenache is going to be able to find out the first. And now AK Demon looking for the find. And he will be able to capitalize. AK Demon, AK Demon, AK Demon. The one name that is coming to our lips each and every time. Because this guy is the saving grace seemingly for the members of nearest bus stand. When they need him the most, he's able to show up and make sure that his team still stays alive, even when their opponents have double digits.
True that, true that. AK Demon's performance was pretty low on the last map and we were all complaining about it, but look at that. He's rising up, redeeming himself, putting himself up on the charts, back in the fight, back in the game, turning things around for the team time and again. Not gonna be a lie if I say that last 2 rounds, both of them were literally AK Demon rounds. They weren't even NBS. He won them single-handedly.
He's doing it all. Namaidi now. He's gonna be stepping
Using
up
the
to the
controller
plate, the
that
attack
early.
side. Yep. Mighty stepping up to the plate this quickly though. It's gonna cause some problems for the opposite side. Confident peeker. Confidence was there, but the shots not really as present as you would have hoped for. Rage. The angle has the timing to kill out the first. Could get the second, but no, he was not ready for it. Icky Demon just didn't have a weapon to keep his buddy safe. What?
Player standing.
Nah,
I mean,
not when everyone is
smile on
aiming at you.
Space says it all.
Planted.
The smile on Swag's face says it all. He knew that Salon royally screwed up. That's okay. What is this? A game of knives? They're just pulling out these knives as
I know, right?
often as they can. It's just send a message to one another that I know what you're doing. Make sure that you stay
Do
in
that.
the
We've already seen, I think, 3+ knife kills today in this first match itself.
Every scenario just really working out in their favor. For now, though, slight switch up. Members of MBS now play for the long game here with AK Demon just hitting shots like that. Rage, none the wiser for it. They need to be ready for each and every one of these fights. As their opponents are swinging into angles, you need to find the answer. But AK Demon, he's just doing whatever he wants. He's on every single fight that he can take. And now he has a double-sided pincer going for himself too.
He's constantly so aware of where he's gonna find people. Not even using utility to gain that information, just walking right in, finding players, picking heads. All that can help right now is a miraculous Hunter's Fury, but I don't think this is the point where you will get one.
Miracles don't happen overnight, but if they're able to save this operator, it's gonna give them a slight bit of a lead going into it. Position known. It's confident peeker. Now needs to make that choice. Swag. It's waiting for them on the opposite side, but confident peeker needs to find the shot. He needs to connect. He's not gonna be able to find it. Instead, it's gonna be Swag through the wall bangs, able to take out the operator player. The smiles on their faces, man. This is what I love to see. NBS, they know they're in the heads of XCrew. And XCrew, unless they change up their strategy drastically, map number 3 could just be in the horizon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. XCrew needs to pick their pieces back up as quickly as possible if they really want to close this on a 2-0, if they really want to have a confident victory with confident peeker on their side. Once you walk into one more map, anything could happen. They should capitalize on the lead they have as long as they can. Benton's trying to collect information. Knows exactly where confident peeker is. Still loses the fight.
Just needs to live now. As long as confident peeker doesn't overswing into anything anymore, you're gonna be completely fine. You will find a bit of information of what's going on the opposite end, but AK Demon has the perfect read. Shikar can't really put a damper in the plans that AK Demon has. It's the closer angles now getting cleared out. Still a 4v4 situation, but not really the most favorable ones when you think about it. good shots is all they need. Grenache is going to be able to find it in 1v1. The defenders still at the much more significant play and advantage to play into this. Confident Peeker on the close quarters corner. Ben, he needs to have the awareness that there could be a possibility of a flank here. Timing is key. That's the overall position. No, that Confident Peeker holding the tightest angle. Still is able to find that thrifty. XCrew. The read was gorgeous. Confident Peeker with his shots. It's just 10 times better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Inching closer and closer to victory, closer and closer to closing the whole map nonetheless. Both the sides have their ultimates online. There's 3 on each. However, a Rolling Thunder could be coming on from the side of NBS soon enough, making this a much easier run for them. In the meanwhile though, NBS is gonna take it slow and steady. They do not want to risk anything, but they will still lose their duelist. Did he miss Ceylon? Did the drone miss Ceylon?
Possibly.
Yeah, I believe so.
He just didn't have the information that he would have wanted. Salon doesn't miss the second shot now, does he? Spots out one more player. The Flame Wall is going to give him the opportunity to run straight away. AK Demon able to find the equalization, but and then one kill is not going to give you everything now, is it? Swag. Making on the back end of this. Opportunity still to be presented. Any one player from XCrew who overextends could be the missing piece that they need to play into this. Because of a well-placed camera, Grenache has the full site under lockdown. They're not going to be able to walk in for free.
30 seconds left.
Not gonna be an easy run at all. It's a 3v4. Make it a 3v3 with Confident Peeker being taken out of the game. AK Demon definitely one of the players who knows exactly where everyone is, even though not playing that exact Sentinel. The positioning is gonna be crucial, but that operator will give fruitful results to Ceylon. NBS now. 1v3.
Why did he ult?
Not at the yeah.
Ceylon's laughing. He's like, oh, fat finger. He thought he won the game. Never mind, he didn't fat finger. He thought he won the game.
Match point.
Oh god. It's just a lot.
Just one round away, man. Just one round away.
Salon. I think that's an operator in his hand. This will be a little bit of an issue,
Yep.
to say the very least. Trying to turn everything back.
Hey, he still got 4 last round with it.
Not really be stopped. The simplicity. This round yet to be found here. Shikar is waiting for Grenache. Towards the back, Mighty with the swing, Blade Storm in hand, but yet to connect. Next round, pretty much imminent. 1 by 1, they're falling like flies. The domino effect starts through. XCrew. They're looking to close things out. AK Demon. Last one alive. He tried his heart out for this map, but his teammates just not able to ride the same highs. Shikar knows the position. Crosshair trained, ready, but AK Demon not yet giving up anytime soon. Salon, operator in hand, has the angle, heightened and ready. But AK Demon, he has a little bit of a read. 40 seconds left on the clock. He needs to go in for a risky play. He's going to be able to retrieve the spike, possibly go in for a fake plant, but with time ticking away, he needs to make that decision soon. And the Hunter's Fury will deny even that opportunity.
With the time being in his favor, he can still turn things around. Deploying all his utilities, which he had saved so far. With the Hunter's Fury in place, he was still able to fight Ceylon off. The plan is gonna go down too. Both the players have information on each other. Thanks to both of their utilities. Now it's down to a 1v1. It may or may not be the close of the game. Wrong direction, AK Demon.
Revealing area.
This should let him know where he's coming from. And AK Demon wins the fight, clutches it down.
God.
And a moment which felt like XCrew is gonna be winning this map, closing the series altogether, just gives yet another breathing room to NBS. AK Demon single-handedly pulling the team back from the mouth of death.
They should not have won this. They should not have won this. XCrew. We really needed to just show some discipline there right at the very end. That was all that was required for you to finish game. The fact that AK Demon was given an opportunity, every single 1v1 that he could have hoped for, try and take it all away. It is going to cause you some problems. On the angle, it is going to be Rage. Has a little bit of a flash to play with. Confident Peeker, beautiful with the shot. Rage, he's going to be able to find another one. One by one, they're able to find a little bit more information. Swag in towards the back. Paranoia now being utilized. One more spotted. Angles given. Rage has the better weapon now. Swinging through. AK Demon still alive and kicking, and he is dealing all the hurt for his team. The consistency on this one Killjoy. The biggest kryptonite for the members of XCrew. As long as he is alive, the chance for this game to go into overtime will still be on the cards.
It's 2 against 3, still better than before because it was 1 against 3 in the last round and still converted into a victory. This time around, they have the lockdown as well. XCrew will have to be cautious. They cannot make the same mistakes as before. Slowly and steadily, NBS closing in towards the site. Want to go ahead and put the plant in, probably. Wait for the fights to come to them. AK Demon way too far all by himself. The alarm bot is in place, but might not detect nothing yet.
Last player standing.
Out of charges. Out of charges.
Confident Pika though, shutting everything down, got both the players and also the spike. Did not seem like a fight that was gonna be that easy, but he's casually just roaming around the map and finding frags. Even after having his position revealed with that alarm bot, he was able to get back into the smoke, take up the fight yet again, and make it into a win. Beautifully done from the side of XCrew. However, even though this was the winning round, this was the round that put XCrew in the position to walk right into the finals. The last round is going to be the one that's more flashy forever. I mean, the way AK Demon took up that fight, the way he brought everything back into the game, I cannot believe that we are still in a place where the team did not get to win. I feel disheartened for the side of AK Demon himself. He had so much to bring to this game, and the way he was playing, I wanted them to have one more, chance to breathe again into this map. But well, it's
Seemingly,
yeah.
am I back? Oh, yes, I am back.
Yes, you are.
Apparently, small issues here and there, technical side. Sorry about that.
I think while you try to get yourself back into the game, let's take a look at how the game was played altogether, because I cannot wait to see the AK Demon moments yet again. The guy deserves all the limelight on him. So let's take a look at the crucial moments and see how crucial his role was to even bring NBS that close to victory, even though the results didn't turn out that way. T-Swag, yet another name from the side of NBS that was constantly showing up to the occasion, getting multi-frags every single round, trying to keep the fort held down for the side of NBS. While XCrew, well, they were heavily relying on Shikhar and Ceylon. The way Ceylon just went in, finding his 4Ks one after the other, the number of knife kills we've had, the number of melees we've had in this game, it's just been a very flashy game. And mind you, this has gone longer than the Lotus map, but it's still been a shorter match altogether because the teams were just so aggressive, just wanted to go right into the game, right into the sites, take those fights. Just very impressed by every single one of these rounds, specifically this one. Specifically the one right before this. I mean, I think the number of praises we give for AK Demon are always gonna fall short. There's just not enough praises in the book.
That's for certain. There were certain situations where AK Demon could have been that X factor that his team needed, but at the same time, how much can one player do? He got a clutch of his life. He went up against an operator, a Hunter's Fury, and a Cypher that was waiting for him. And he found every single kill without fail. That's what AK Demon brought onto the table. And after all of that, his team just wasn't able to edge out that possible overtime where they could have been able to take the victory. Showed us map number 3. They just did not have the drive to do so, and that's kind of the problem of this Jet composition nowadays. Jet, yes, she's still a strong duelist, but up against Neon, what do you do? Neon can take space, Neon can stun players, Neon has a wall that she can easily use to get into the side. Arguably, the slide is better than the dash now because you can at least shoot in the slide. So there's so many different things that you can do with the Neon in comparison. If you are proficient in that on that particular character, no Jet player can stop you. They need to have a killer Blade Storm to make it all work. We're gonna jumping on down over into the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen, just to paint a picture one more time of what really went on for the map of Haven, because it was a sad tale for the members of the nearest Bustand, especially for AK Demon.
Look at AK Demon. 375. Very close to 400. His ACS says the whole story. And look at the highest fragger from the side of XCrew. It's 21 kills, while on the other side it's a strong 28. AK Demon, I feel very sorry for this guy, but you again in a team game need the whole team to show up for you. Mighty definitely fell short of his role. Expected a lot more. Same can be said for Ezzy, but on the other side, if you talk about XCrew, the whole team showed up not only for themselves but also for each other. The way Confident Peaker was constantly making entries for the side of Ceylon, making sure that he had enough opportunity to go ahead get those frags. Not only Confident Peaker, even Rage alongside that. Just making everything possible for Ceylon to go ahead and acquire, and then having that backup support from the side of Shikhar whenever there was an opportunity where Ceylon failed. It was just beautifully orchestrated completely from the side of XCrew.
Absolutely. Small mistakes. It's what really costs you the game of Valorant. For AK Demon, he didn't make many, but even then, it was a little bit too little too late. If AK Demon really had that performance from the very beginning of the game and not on the later half, there was a good chance his team might have been able to carry it forward, but you played your heart out, my man. Take a bow for that one. 28 kills, 4 first kills, 5,024 damage. The headshot percentage of he was incredible. Jumping on down over to the series MVP, I'm pretty sure we all know who's that.
Who is that?
Ceylon, who else?
Oh, obviously.
He's the man of the hour. Give it to him.
True that. I was still having a confusion though. I thought AK Demon 2 might be it, but then I remembered that Lotus performance just did not work out for him. The good thing is both of these players are already in the top 10 list. They both must have leveled up their own rankings overall. But yes, Ceylon absolutely been a miracle all across both the maps. Been a charm to watch nonetheless.
It's tough to say the very least. I guess the fact that 69G was missing just made the team have its own difficulties for this particular map, because 69G, when he normally plays the map of Haven, he's like the backbone for the entire team to give them a little bit of direction. But without him, it was a tough call. Grenache just fitted perfectly into the roster. XCrew having that strong of a 6 player. Imagine Ana. your sixth player is as strong as your main roster players. So even if you
Exactly.
sub him in, it just adds a completely new dynamic to your team. The raw fragging power that he brings onto the table is unmatched by any.
That is absolutely correct. I mean, the way Goranj fits in is completely, amazing. Not only are the players well structured together, they are also able to adapt to each other that quickly. I mean, I thought it's going to take at least a couple of rounds for the players to be able to, gel well with each other and again get into the play. Goranj did not need a warm up. He walked into the game and he started with 4Ks. And I'm like,
True.
sitting here being mesmerized.
That's just a player like him for you. That's what it takes to go the distance, and everyone from the members of XCrew, they deserve this one-way ticket over towards that grand finals. They can rest up tomorrow, look at the VODs, look at the games, and mentally prepare themselves for what is coming moving forward. But for the opposite side, for the members of nearest Bustand, the lower bracket finals is where they really need to be at. But still, we'll have to see exactly who are going to be the ones to face off against the members of the nearest Bustand here, because you don't forget, we still have one more game to showcase to you guys.
When are you gonna upgrade your system? Alright, let's do this.
Once there was a hunter who saw what others could not. With a magic case in her backpack, she roamed with wild abandon into the great unknown. Her gaze inescapable, her reflexes lightning fast. When armies swarmed, she went through. With eyes open wide, hands steady, holding, watching, capturing everything in sight.
The Crucial Pro DDR5 RAM kit comes with a sleek, modern look that will complement any build. But aesthetics aside, it's the performance that really matters. So let's dive into it. The default JEDEC timings are 46, 45, 45, but it does come with 2 XMP and Expo settings for those looking for a little more performance. With XMP 3.0 Profile 1, you can push the speed up to 5600 megatransfers per second. If you prefer a slightly lower speed but tighter timings, Profile 2 offers 5200 megatransfers per second at 42, 42, 42 timings. We've run some benchmarks and stress tests to give you an idea of how it performs. In general, dropping the speed and tightening the timings with the second XMP/Expo profile yielded better results for us on our test system. Paired with a Ryzen 7800X 3D, we saw anywhere from a 1 to 5% performance bump depending on workloads. All in all, the Crucial Pro DDR5 64GB RAM kit by Micron is a fantastic choice for first-time builders and enthusiasts alike.